Docs are probably one of the hardest things you have to do as a developer. You don't like writing them, they're hard to maintain, and they're hard to know whether or not what you wrote actually is effective. So we've been using a product at Clerk called Docsly. Now Docsly is a way to essentially have resell comment previews on your production application. So here we are on the Docsly website, and as you can see, get actionable feedback from your users. And the idea here is that you can have users highlight pieces of your application, give you some feedback, you can respond to them, you can resolve them, you can ask them to do something like create a GitHub issue, whatever it might be. And the best part is that you can actually physically highlight the exact wording on the screen. So as a developer, you can just click on it and Docsly will open that page, scroll to that page, and show you the inline comment, as well as getting feedback and advanced insights, which I'll show you in the dashboard in a second. And there's some other stuff. So here we are on the Docsly homepage. When you log in as a dashboard, there's comments, feedbacks, customization, notifications, plans, and billing. So in the comment section, here is where you would see any new comments from users. You can have them set to resolved, moderated, or hidden if you don't think they're applicable. On top of that, you get a feedback section. This would give you insights, which will show you in production how that kind of works. Then we have customizations where you can do things like, do you want to enable it for mobile phones? Do you always want to moderate your comments? Do you want to set them to private or to public or off? So this gives you the ability to show comments to other users on your website. We have it set to private at Clerk. Notifications, super good. You can either have a summary every day, you can have one every time there's a new comment, and you can decide whether or not to send it to the entire team that maybe works on Docs or just to the single user. So let's look at how this looks in production, and then we'll talk about how it actually looks as a product. So here it is production. Right now I have it set to every day we get a project summary. We don't get an email every single time there's a comment, and there's notify everyone is set to false. So if we go to feedback, you can see that you get charts that look like this. 241 is helpful and 17 is unhelpful. And if you scroll down the thing, you can see which specific topics are unhelpful. Then when you scroll down a bit further, you can see a total chart and you can see there's a lot of green here and then there's a little bit of orange. And we can actually see which pages are the most helpful. Getting started with Next.js is the most helpful. And if we scroll down here, we can see there's a couple of twos in here. Getting started with Remix, for example. Getting started with Expo is another one. So maybe we need to revisit those pieces of documentation, see if there's anything we can shore up and make a little better. Then if you go to our comments section, which should have a few comments here, we have a test one. We can then click on this and it will take you to the exact place where the comment is. As you can see, we got a little comment here. If I click on this comment, I can see the comment itself. I can send a reply and say, hello, thanks so much. I can hit send. They will get a response. And then we can then click this resolve button here, right? So if I click resolve, it will disappear from this and we'll get an update successfully. And then if we go to our comment section here, this will disappear and then we'll just have to worry about these. When you set a comment to resolved, it ends up being here. And as you can see, we've resolved quite a few different comments over this past few weeks. And this allows us to really iterate. As a user, if I go to the Clerk's docs, I get this little section down here. When you click this, you go into comment mode. If you want to upvote, you can click this. And if a user downvotes, they click this button and then they can leave a comment here. So they can just say like, this page doesn't have enough detail. And we can hit send. And we'll get double feedback. So then what would happen is if we go back to our comments here, we go back to new, you'll say the page doesn't have enough detail. You can see it has my name. And then I also will get feedback here on this page where it says this is most unhelpful /docs. So there we have that part. Docsly is a React component giving you some good things. You can do it with Next.js, Nextra, Docs, Docusaurus, whatever you're using. One of the key elements here is the ability to actually have customizations. So first, you can change all the colors, shapes, and whatever you want. So you can make it look bright orange. But one of the cool features that we are still introducing at Clerk, which we haven't done yet, is if you're using authentication, you can use the client's authentication behind the scenes so that you know which user is having all of these issues. So we don't have it turned on, but you can use this get user token, which is just a JWT that represents the user, allowing you to see which users are indeed having these issues, allowing you to improve them even more. The overall setup is dead simple. If you just want a simple version, you just add the package, and then all you need to do at that point, so let's say we are using Nextra, for example, you add this, and then you initialize this as a component. Obviously, if you're using app router, it would be use client, and you set the public ID from the dashboard, set your path name, and that's all you need to do. Then you just drop it in the footer of whatever piece of code, and that's it. So there you have it. Improve your documentation today with a product like Docsly, allowing you to get that interactive feedback and iterate faster than ever before. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and click right here. This will be another video from the algorithm. Of course, if you're not subscribed, why the hell not? Click right here.